Hi, my name's Jeffrey Ross, and I am Side Gig Guy. Today I'm going to be taking you on a ride along with me to show you what a typical day looks like if you're a DoorDasher. I'm also going to be sharing with you some of the gear that I use while I'm dashing. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'm going to share with you 3 key tips that could be costing you money if you're new to DoorDash. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. A typical weekday shift starts between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and goes until 6 a.m. That's right, my zone is pretty much busy all night, Wednesday night through Saturday night. And I call this first part of the shift leg 1. My day starts when I wake up and I sleep with my phone right next to me. So without even getting dressed, I roll over and I check in. As a top dasher, I don't need to schedule and the zone doesn't need to be busy. Once I've checked in, if I don't immediately get sent somewhere, I'll shower, shave, and do my morning routine stuff with the app still running. Now sometimes it can go off at the worst times, but when and if that happens, I put on yesterday's clothes, which are close by, and I head out. And actually, that's what happens today. I woke up just before 3 a.m., logged into the app, and I got this order for almost $2 a mile.
Okay, so it's about 2:30 in the morning. I got to keep my voice down. I don't want to wake anybody else up. I couldn't sleep, so I turned on the DoorDash app, and right off the bat, we got this order here. I mean, this is a banger, so we're going to go run that. One of the first piece of gear I want to tell you about, though, is my DoorDash t-shirt. This is worth the small amount of money that I paid for it. I think it was like $11, and I got 8 of them. And you get noticed faster at restaurants, and that can make all the difference. I mean, if you're in a hurry and you're trying to make a pickup, walking in and somebody sees, oh, DoorDash guy, hey, we got your order right here. And, it might save you 2 or 3 minutes at every pickup.
There is an IHOP in my zone that has a steady stream of overnight business on the nights they are open 24 hours a day, because nothing else really is open. That is why it's important to know your zone. If you're working very late or very early, you'll want to know what restaurants are open. And if you are out late at night, it helps to have a flashlight. And that's where my second piece of gear comes in.
Okay, so we just dropped that one off. And this is pretty usual for this time of the morning. People forget to turn on their porch light, and it was really dark and I couldn't see. So another piece of gear that I think every dasher should have, and my favorite one here is this battery pack combination flashlight. You can see the lenses right there, and I'll turn it on for just a second, and you can see, whoa, completely blinds you. And what's great about this is it's got plugs on the back. You can plug up your own if you ran out of juice. It can recharge your phone a couple dozen times. And it can be charged with solar energy. But of course, we have no sun out here, so that's not really useful right now.
After we made that drop, we got another order out of that same IHOP. It came in about 10 minutes after 3 a.m. It was a little over $1 a mile, so I took it. $1 a mile is a quick guideline for whether or not to accept an offer. But there are always exceptions. At this time of the morning, though, there is no traffic, and so you can get where you're going fast. And it wasn't a great tip. Most of the pay was base pay and peak pay. That's another reason I like working at this time of day. There's usually always peak pay, and that can range anywhere from $1 a trip to $5 a trip. After I dropped off, it was quiet, so I used the time to get gas. I always fuel up during leg 1. In fact, if I can get through my old morning routine of showering and shaving without getting an order, when I leave the house, the gas station is my first stop. I know which station has the best gas price, and I'm very loyal to it. Scouting out the best gas price is very important. It may only seem like pennies, but after purchasing hundreds or thousands of gallons of gas in a year, trust me, it adds up. It was 4 a.m. now, and I still hadn't received a call, so I went to one of my standby locations. During leg 1, my usual standby location is at home or just up the street. There are 3 important things for a good standby location. Number 1, good cellular signal. And this is the absolute most important thing. I'll only sit idle if I have all 4 bars at that spot. Number 2, on a main road and close to a main interchange. The reason why? The DoorDash algorithm is constantly using GPS and mapping software to figure out the optimal dasher. And if you are several twists and turns into a neighborhood, DoorDash may determine that it will take you too long to get to the pickup point and pass you over. Number 3, near a hotspot or midway between multiple hotspots. You can use the DoorDash map if you don't know the hotspots, but it's better if you get to know your zone and know what places are busy and when they are busy.
All right. Hey, it took a while, but we finally did get one. It's a real unicorn, too. I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not. $22. It's 2 orders, and they're going like real close to each other. See the drops there? So we're going to go pick this up and drop off these 2 orders. $22.
The two drops were only a couple of blocks apart. If you see on the phone, there was only 3 minutes difference in time as well between the two drops. Next up was this McDonald's order. This one was only $1 a mile, but I figured I could run it quickly. However, the drive-thru was surprisingly busy and the lobby was closed. I did think about unassigning it, but at this time of the morning, there might not have been many other orders.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay, it's DoorDash.
Oh, it's DoorDash. Pull for me.
Thank you. So leg number 1 is from the time I wake up in the morning until 6 a.m. But I'm off the road before 6 a.m. because at that point commuters take over. And I live in an area with a population of about, I don't know, several million people. And in the Atlanta area, they're all going eastbound right through my zone to get into the city. And there's a transition period where the sun's coming up and it goes from complete darkness to blinding sunlight. Leg 2 starts sometime after 8 a.m. Once the traffic has died down, the kids have gotten to school and things like that. Oh, and by the way, I don't run this in the summertime either. If in the summer it gets light earlier and there's also not a lot of school bus traffic, so it's cool then. Leg 3 is when I'm going to get my lunch run from 11 until whenever, and that has the large order program potential. And I'm going to talk about large order program at the end of the video, so stick around for that. That's one of the key mistakes you might be making as a DoorDash driver. So leg 3 will run from 11 a.m. until I've made my $100 for the day. And then once I've made that, I can either continue to work to make extra money, or I can just decide that I've done for the day, I'm going to go home. All right, so we're getting closer to the window. Let's go ahead and get this order.
So that McDonald's order took me over 30 minutes from accept to dropped. There was no tip, and so that's not a good run. The average DoorDash takes me around 15 or 20 minutes to complete. So I just actually lost about 10 or 15 minutes of productivity. And it's getting close to 6 a.m., which is the end of leg 1. So I decided to head home and just end leg 1 early. So here's how much money we made during leg 1. Leg 1 started at 2:30 in the morning and it went from 5:30 in the morning, so that's 3 hours. We had our first run for $19.25 and 4 subsequent runs afterwards for $40.11 for a grand total of $59.36. Which is $19.78 an hour. That's pretty good. Knowing my zone really helps me make more money. Like for example, this morning, I knew that if I just stayed close to that IHOP that I would get a steady stream of calls, and I did. If you don't know what's open in your zone at what times, you can just download the DoorDash customer app and then plug in your location or plug in another location somewhere in your zone, and it'll show you what restaurants are open. And you can also click in to see what the hours are, because the hours that DoorDash delivers for a restaurant might be actually different than the business operating hours.
All right, so next order I've got is this one here. It's Hardee's. It's $8.75, and it's going up to an area that I like to call the Golden Triangle. It's where a lot of restaurants and stuff are. I'll tell you about it on the way.
My zone, Lithia Springs, has a good mix of restaurants and homes all over the zone, but there is an area that has one of everything. McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Papa John's, Jersey Mike's, Subway, Chipotle, you name it, all within 1 mile of this location, and the cell coverage is outstanding. I'll be dropping off right near what I like to call the Golden Triangle. So if it's busy, I'll get another offer right away. I dropped it off at 8:19, and I got some lame offers that I didn't screenshot, but within 5 minutes, I got a $9 diamond offer, about $1.80 a mile, and keeping me in the general area. You can see from this offer how about half the distance is to the store, and then I just pick it up and backtrack almost to where I was. Finding the sweet spot of your zone will improve your earnings. I dropped off at 8:39, and again I had to decline a few until I got this one at 8:48. Being a top dasher doesn't mean you never decline orders. It just means you don't decline more than 30% of them, right? This one was $6.50 plus, meaning it would be more, and it ended up being $7.50, which is a whopping $4.68 a mile.
Well, we've been sitting here a while. Wonder how much longer we're going to have to wait. All right, so we just got our order, Diamond Panera Bread, $8. So we're going to head over there and get it. Well, we're probably going to have to wait, though, because we're right across the street from it. But let's head over.
That last order came in at 9:17, and I dropped it at 9:39, so about 22 minutes to handle. A little long, but I decided to end leg 2 early and have lunch. I'd get an early start on leg 3 that way. During leg 2, we made $33.25. That is a little bit more than $16 an hour. Not great, but not too bad. I drove home and I had a quick lunch. For the drive home and while I was preparing lunch, I keep the Dasher app turned off. I don't want to have too many declines so that I can keep my top Dasher status. However, once I started eating lunch, I turned the app back on as I knew I could leave quickly if needed.
All right, so I got this one here while I was having lunch, and it's my local liquor store. It's not a very good run. It's not even $1 a mile, but we needed to go to the liquor store anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take it.
That delivery only took about 20 minutes to complete. And it was now 10:33 and we have made our $100 for the day. I decided to stay out a little while longer. 9 minutes later at 10:42, we got a diamond offer from Papa John's for $6.10 and it was only 2.2 miles. Of course we took that one for $3 a mile. And we handled it real quick, dropping it off at 10:51, only 9 minutes after accepting it. By the way, do you see that nice tracker that I've been showing at the bottom of the screen? I have made that available for free if you'd like to download it and use it to track or manage a shift that you dash. All you need to do is remember to take screenshots of all the offers you receive and all the drop-offs that you make. Then you just fill in the blanks. We once again had a few orders we had to decline until we got this one at 11 a.m., 9 minutes of idle time. Zaxby's, $9.25 plus, so we know it's going to be more, and only going 5 miles, so let's go get that one. It ended up being $10.25, so that's more than $2 a mile, and it only took us 13 minutes from offer to drop. That's more like it. Now, I hate to admit it, but after 8 minutes of waiting, I did accept this offer. You can beat me up in the comments if you want, but it kept me moving, what can I say? And it only took 11 minutes from offer to drop to handle. And 4 minutes later, I did it again. This one was a little bit better though. So leg 3 looked a lot like leg 2. We worked 2 hours and made $33. We ended the day solid with a total of $125 and about 6.5 hours of work. We drove more miles than I thought though, 131. Now, as promised, here are the 3 mistakes that I really hope you aren't making as a DoorDasher and that are going to cost you money if you are making them. Number 1, not being in the large order program. Now, I've talked about the large order program before, and all Dashers will agree with me that this program is essential to maximizing your earnings. And the requirements are fairly simple. Here are just a few of the tips that I've received from orders in the large order program. They're huge monster tips. And it's usually because the customer feels obligated to go ahead and give that 15% tip on orders that are more than $100 or $200. The requirements for the large order program are pretty simple. First of all, you need to have a catering bag. You can have this one from DoorDash and you can buy it at their store, or you can get a catering bag from any other site, but you have to have a catering bag and they'll ask you to take a picture of it. So once you have your catering bag and you've met the minimum requirements for 30 days, I'd recommend doing it for another 30 days, 2 consecutive months. And then after 60 days, if you haven't been invited to participate in the large order program, ping support, give them a call or send them an email and ask to be put into the program. Ultimately, I think I was working for DoorDash over a year before I got invited into the large order program, but it has been great since I have been. Mistake number 2, not shopping around for the best price in gas. This is critical. If you do not know where you can get the cheapest gas, you could lose hundreds of dollars a year. Let me give you an example. Last year, I logged 32,653 miles doing side gigs. My car gets 50 miles to the gallon of gas on average, so I likely purchased over 650 gallons of gas last year. Now, if I didn't shop around for gas, I could pay anywhere from 10 cents more a gallon to 50 cents more a gallon. That would be an increased cost of anywhere from $65 a year to $325 a year. So know your zone and know where the cheapest gas is. And if you have to travel just a little ways to get a better deal on gas, I recommend doing it. Oh, And use the Dasher Direct card. This is the card that you can apply for from DoorDash, and all of your pay gets cashed into it as soon as you sign off at the end of your shift. If you use this card for your gas purchases, like I do, you get an extra 2% cash back. Number 3, not knowing your zone. Some people don't think it's important to know their zones and they move all over geographically. I think knowing your zone is very important. Knowing your zone could be simple things like knowing which restaurants are going to make you wait and which ones are almost always going to have the orders ready, or knowing where the police like to run radar, or knowing where the schools are at, or where difficult apartment buildings are at. All of these things add up to wasting time, and if you're wasting time, you're losing money. So I believe knowing your zone, knowing the hot spots in your zone, knowing which businesses are open at what time, all of that factors into a more profitable experience for you. If you like what you've seen today, click on the thumbs up button below this video. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel so that you can get updates on all of the side gigs like Amazon Flex, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and others. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Side Gig Guy out.